Welcome to Legal 123s with ByrdAdatto. Legal issues simplified through real client stories and real-world experiences. Creating simplicity in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Season 15 preview, the Legal 123s with ByrdAdatto. I'm your host, ByrdAdatto, with my co-host, Michael Byrd. And everyone, I hope you enjoyed the holidays and getting ready to take on 2024, Michael.
Thanks, Brad. And I think we should pause for a moment and let's reflect on completing Season 14 and completing Season 2023.
Yes.
This is a time for everyone to pause to celebrate the start of a fresh year, Brad. All your mistakes are behind you.
Oh, good.
And you just have a clean slate.
Yes, and I'm kind of sad, Michael, that, we had to grow up a little bit because from Season 13, which is our maturity level, and then we really had to buckle down and learn during Season 14 about leadership.
I really enjoyed hearing people's perspectives on leadership. We had guests throughout the season.
Yeah.
We had amazing leaders from all over the country. A few of them were even able to stop by our studio and do it in person, which, I'm still appreciating after starting this whole podcast during COVID and not having live guests for several seasons.
Yes.
I still appreciate it every time. We had Nicole Kiramonte from AMP. We had veteran Todd Boating. We had Paula Allgood, the managing partner of Beard Hairs, all come in to the studio with us. We also had Dr. Craig Hobar, who is a leader and a plastic surgeon, founder of Leap Global Missions, and business coach and strategic leader Allison Matledge also were able to join us in studio.
Yeah, it was great having them in the studio. But we also had some amazing leaders stop by virtually, like Kathy Christensen from ANSPA and Terry Ross from Apex and Jessica Stillwagon and her sister Melissa Mickelson, who are the founders of Bodify. Louisiana State Representative Amy Adatto Freeman stopped on in. And finally, but last but certainly not least, facial plastic surgeon and social influencer Dr. K stopped in.
It was amazing. Great group of leaders, and none of this would be possible without the the great feedback we keep getting from our audience members.
Yeah.
So please, audience, keep sending us your comments, and we'll continue to grow this show for you.
Yeah, and speaking of audience members, shout out to our newest audience members. We have some now in UK and Australia. I did get to meet some of you guys, so appreciate your feedback too.
It is always a blast when we get to meet an audience member who comes up and says hi. We continue to be amazed and grateful for all of our loyal listeners who join us each week on the Legal 123s with ByrdAdatto, and thank you for sharing our content with others.
Well, Michael, we have now grown up as leaders, but I think we're ready to take on this new year, and as you said, leave your mistakes behind is what I heard. Mm-hmm. What do we have in store for Season 15?
Don't fear, Brad. I'm not going to leave you behind.
Okay.
Okay. I'm excited for this season, Brad, and maybe we should say the seasons ahead this year. Yes.
This is exciting.
Unlike any other time in the history of this podcast, we will reveal all 4 of our next podcast seasons that we'll go through in 2024.
Oh, I'm so super excited. I cannot wait to find out what they are.
Brad, you were in the room when we decided these next 4 seasons. You cannot act like it's Christmas Day and you're about to open gifts. In this case, you actually put the gift in the box and wrapped it.
Oh, fair point. All right, let's get to the big reveal.
Okay, drum roll, please. I'm excited that we will be explaining throughout all of 2024 that we will be focusing on the seasons of a business.
Well, that sounds great, Michael. But for those who don't know, what are the seasons of a business?
Yeah. So every business is in one of 4 seasons. And so the seasons of a business will be covered each podcast season. So we'll go, there's 4 seasons of a business. There's 4 seasons in a year. It works out beautifully.
Oh, I love it.
We have the building season. Mm-hmm. That's the beginning. You're putting the infrastructure to your business or starting a business in place. You have the operating season. That's you're in the day-to-day grind, trying to make money. But there's problems, crises that pop up, and we'll spend an entire podcast season talking about that. There's the scaling season. What are the things you need to think about and do when you're growing your business? And then the buying and selling season, and it's time to either acquire or sell. And there's a special set of things that you go through and think through during that season. And so for season 15, we'll be living in this building season.
Awesome. Well, audience members, this season we'll have guests join us again and to help us better understand what you need for building a season. We'll also have some amazing people come and join us, including Jessica Nunn, about how to build a business plan.
Yeah, and when we're talking about starting a business, there's going to get options you have from a tax perspective when we bring in CPA Brian Mueller.
Yeah, and then you'll need a banker to help loan you money, so Chris Williams will come join us, and finding the space with a commercial broker like Stephen Hawley.
No season would be complete unless we brought along our series regular Jay Riero that come in and help us deal with some of the more complicated topics.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to catching up with everyone in Season 15 opener, which will be January 10th on ingredients to starting a business. Until then, enjoy the rest of the week. Thanks again for joining us today. And remember, if you like this episode, please subscribe, make sure to give us a 5-star rating, and share with your friends.
You can also sign up for the ByrdAdatto newsletter by going to our website at ByrdAdatto.com.
ByrdAdatto is providing this podcast as a public service. This podcast is for educational purposes only. This podcast does not constitute legal advice, nor does it establish an attorney-client relationship. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by ByrdAdatto. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. Please consult with an attorney on your legal issues.